You'll see a terrible collision on the Chesapeake Bay in this video. Stay tuned for an analysis of how it could have been prevented. Subscribe to Slowboat Sailing for ripped from the headlines stories like this one. Near Annapolis, Maryland, in the Chesapeake Bay, a charter fishing boat ran into a J-105 sailboat and was stuck on its cabin top. The Arundel Fire Department and Natural Resources Police in Maryland came onto the scene and helped separate the two vessels. The U.S. Coast Guard is investigating the incident. Miraculously, 9 people were on board the two vessels, but none of them were injured. The powerboat is called the Hunter, and it is a charter fishing boat operated by Chesapeake Bay Charter Services, which do captain fishing charters. The J-105 is a 35-foot sailboat which is owned by Chesapeake Boating Club, whose members can take out a variety of boats, including the LEVIATHAN that was damaged in the collision. Slowboat Sailing contacted Chesapeake Bay Charter Services, who declined to comment on the incident. Chesapeake Boating Club had this statement on their website. This morning at approximately 11:30 a.m., a member of the Chesapeake Boating Club was under sail on one of the club's J-105s when they were struck by a 35-foot powerboat. The J-105 was struck amidships on the starboard side, with the powerboat coming to a stop on top of the sailboat. Thankfully, no one was injured. Our members were operating the boat in a safe manner on a day with clear visibility and 10 to 12 knots of breeze. The J-105 crew attempted to hail the approaching boat prior to the collision, otherwise signal, and to take action to avoid the collision. We would like to thank the Coast Guard and Department of Natural Resources for their rapid response to the scene.
I think a lot of sailboaters think that if they got the sails up and the motor off, that they have the right of way over powerboats. But most powerboaters think that they have the right of way. And they both have a good reason for that. Because most powerboaters are about to fish, going to fish, maybe gonna fish. Maybe they have lines out already. And fishing boats, with their lines out, have priority over sailboats. So just because you have your sails up does not mean that you have right of way over all powerboats. There's also a lot of big ships out there that if you're in a narrow channel, they're going to have right of way over you. That doesn't seem to be the case just from the pictures that I've seen. For one, the powerboat planed over the sailboat, so it must have been going pretty fast. Too fast to have its lines out. Of course, the Coast Guard is going to make that determination. It seems likely that the charter fishing boat had a professional captain who was in charge of the boat and should have known better. But, you know, captain's license doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to always exercise good judgment. Recently, there was a YouTube channel called Sailing Salty Mermaid that disappeared after their boat was totaled going through a bridge, and they had a professional captain operating their boat at the time. So, having a professional captain is no guarantee of not having a collision. To learn more about the navigation rules and the collision regulations, you can get my audio album on iTunes, where I read the coal regs, which are the toughest part of the captain's exam. Subscribe to Slowboat Sailing so you can see ripped from the headlines sailing stories like this, or our round the world sailing adventures.
Mantis aimed to design the most reliable anchor ever made. Other anchors often cannot set in firm or grassy bottoms, endangering your safety. The Mantis frequently sets the first time even in the most
demanding situations. We sleep a lot easier using the Mantis anchor as our primary on the slow boat. Get yours at mantisanchors.com or other fine retailers.